Welcome to another episode of the Grunge Bible Podcast. My name is Ethan Shalloway. I'm joined by Chris Salona. This is episode 226. It's coming out on Monday, July 21st. And we're pumped up. I think we're pumped up. Chris, you're back in your home in Rhode Island.
I am
back in the homestead in Pennsylvania. So,
different locations today.
We've
been coming from lately. Yeah,
that's right. It's travel, but we're both back in our, we're back in our, our home states. You're always in your home, well, not always, but like you're in your home state a lot of the time.
Most frequently, yeah, I am at home. And unfortunately today I have reverted back to the microphone stand.
I almost brought it up.
I'm not in my relaxed form today. That my office chair that I work from home at and that I do the podcast from, it's not a good lean back chair. And it would just be tough the way that I have the camera set up and everything. So I'm at full attention here. My posture's upright. But it was good kind of leaning back a little bit and taking it easy.
You're leaning into life now, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit. So, Ethan, as you said, a little bit of travel that we had under our belts this week. You're back in Pennsylvania. We're recording this on a Friday midday on the 18th. And how are we doing? What's up?
I'm doing well. I have I had my mic stand, but I decided against it because when I came down to the basement to record, I left the one piece upstairs. So I was like, whatever.
You don't need to go back for that.
Yeah. I'm doing well. Yeah, doing well. I had a meet in Memphis, and my brother came, and we traveled back, and the road trip was not bad. We got back for his gender reveal party, and he found out that he is, in fact, having a boy. So...
Boy, dad, another one.
Never a bad day to have a son, as they say in the Viking world. And it's really exciting. No doubt about it. He's really pumped. So exciting news for the family.
The family is growing.
He's going to name it after himself. Samuel David.
Is he having a junior?
Yeah, but it's Quinn and Elijah. They're my brothers' names.
They go by their middle names.
They go by their middle names, and they both Quinn pulled a David Quinn, and he's calling his son David. And Elijah has the Samuel Elijah, and he's going to call him Samuel. So they're juniors, but they're all going to go by different names, which I actually think is pretty badass.
I think it's better. So I know you've told me the story before, but how come you're not known as Zane?
Yeah. The only reason, the better question is, why did they go by their middle names?
That's true, because that's the outlier.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure why my parents decided to go with Quinn and Elijah, but for me, my middle name is Zane, and my mom was worried that Zane would get some backlash, get some bullying, or she just thought it might be
a good name.
It's a great name. Yeah, it's cool. So she was worried, so they just called me Ethan, but I don't know why. My dad goes by his middle name as well, and it's just a weird fact about the Shalloways. So they're keeping the names and they're going by. So I like that a lot for the nephews.
Yeah.
And if I have one, I guess I'm gonna have to name it Ethan Zane and go by Zane.
Go by Zane, I guess, right?
Yeah. Which I think would be right. So
yeah, dude.
Yeah. So it's interesting, but I'm doing well. Yeah. It's really nice to be back here. It's always it's a culture shock coming back and living the old house. You're always off rhythm a little bit, but it's no big deal. It's fun to be around everybody. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm doing well. You're doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Traveled back from Canada yesterday, so just kind of getting back into the routine a little bit. Had to get the household up and running again, go grocery shopping, all that kind of stuff, but pretty good. Gotta work later today, a little bit more, go to the gym, but back to the regularly scheduled programming here for me. I had a nice time being outside a bunch in Canada, hiking, camping, swimming, all that stuff. So I'm feeling reinvigorated, and I'm fully torqued for the rest of the summer down here now.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
So we have a true summer episode ahead. We're going to ping pong, just do this day in music. A few notable things happened, and maybe talk a little bit about one of our favorite artists, Petey USA. He had an album come out last week, and we are pretty excited about it. So we're going to talk about it a little bit, but we're going to keep it nice, short, and sweet. as you know, we're on our, a lot of people are taking sabbaticals these days, and we're about due. I mean, my dad's actually starting a 6-week sabbatical here.
I
today.
want to take one.
I know.
I really do.
I know. I was like, so I was like, dude, I feel like more companies should offer sabbaticals. I mean, you have to put in your time, but like,
well, once you put in your time,
I think there's been time put in on this pod, and the page in general, sabbatical time is here.
Yeah, we could go on. I love a good because 2 weeks is not enough. A week's not enough. Like 6 weeks. Like, I wonder if there's a minimum amount of time that needs to be taken in order for it to be known as a sabbatical.
Right.
I don't know.
And I was asking him. I was like, because I don't know if it's like. I mean, it's like Sabbath. It's like, I don't know if it's like definitely a religious term or just used in the church, because they work on the weekends and they work Sundays and stuff. So maybe it's something to do with making sure you take sabbaticals are great.
According to the fine folks over at Indeed.com, a sabbatical can last anywhere from 2 months to a year. So there we go. We're gonna go on a year-long sabbatical.
Is it paid time off, or is it just?
I'm sure it's. I can't imagine it. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I don't.
What would you do with your sabbatical?
I wouldn't do much. I don't think so. It's not like I would come back with some sort of profound contribution to make upon my return from something. It'd be like the summer of George, I'm still decompressing. I'll decompress for 9/10 of the sabbatical, and then whatever happens after that. So I don't know.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but we have a lot of people in our corner here that we enjoy providing for each week. That I don't know what their thoughts would be if we went on a year-long sabbatical. So and
that's definitely whenever we break our streak for whatever reason, we're gonna turn it into a sabbatical.
Yeah, it's like shit hits the fan and we can't record for 1 week. I mean, we might as well go on a sabbatical.
100% gonna do that. Yeah.
Thing. Yeah, I mean, it's good for us. I mean, everybody needs to rest every now and then. But as I mentioned, the people in our corner that support us, it has grown by one. We can ring the bell. We have a new top tier plus supporter over on Patreon. So joining in at $11 a month, so a little bit above the top tier, we'd like to welcome aboard the individual who has chosen to be known as Looking California, Feeling Minnesota. Which is absolutely perfect. That is that's a sweet spot right there for a Patreon name. Everybody knows what that one's about. We reached out to you on the Patreon app, just asking you some questions and if you have an episode topic that you would like us to do in the future. So if you want to navigate the Patreon app, Looking California and Feeling Minnesota, reach back out to us, share your story. We want to know why you decided to give us money. That's always the burning question there. So thank you and welcome aboard, and we look forward to thanking you each subsequent week throughout the length of your stay on the Grunge Bible Patreon. Another Patreon news, there is some rumblings. We heard from the Cracker Man this morning that he's thinking about upping his membership so we don't have to quit the podcast. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but we threatened. We threatened if there was no movement that we would quit the podcast. So Cracker Man is going to see to it that will not happen. So that's obviously that's pretty sick, and we'd like to thank him for that. So he, as of this recording, he does remain the number 2 on the Patreon leaderboard, second to the one and only Abraham, who is the cutest bass town ever, and the other members of the top tier over on Patreon are a bit dusty, Black Hole Sean, Doug Endy, Eddie Vetter got me through my second divorce, Gochu John, Heidi and Chains, Jade Mercado, Jamie Lynn, Carlene Salona, King Buzzo Stole My Hair, The Michael Dooley Project, Nikki Six, Russell, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Sherry Matthews, Ultra Mega OK, and What the Fuck is Up Denny's. There you have it.
Thank you, everybody, for choosing to support your local business of the Grunge Bible Podcast.
Oh, yeah. Business is booming.
Business is booming. And, because you give us money, we can read off what happened this day in music over the years.
Yes, we can. No one else can do that.
No one else did. So So just close your eyes and we'll take a walk back in memory lane on July 21st throughout the years.
Reminiscing is in.
Yeah. Do you remember when in 1948 that Cat Stevens was born?
Oh, man.
The legendary Cat Stevens. I actually, when I was clicking, I did this, I was looking through what happened on this date, and I decided to, on the app that, or on the site that we use, they have a few videos thrown in there at times.
Right.
And I played, they had a Cat Stevens song, his father and son song.
Oh, yeah.
And I played it, and it was like a few strums of the guitar. And my dad was sitting there on sabbatical, and he said, Cat Stevens. And I was like,
he clocked it immediately.
He clocked it immediately. He's like, Cat Stevens. I was like, yep. He's like, father and son. And I was like, that's right.
Correct, Dad.
I was like, that's right, Dad. So yeah, Cat Stevens. I don't know. I've only listened to him a ton through settings like that with my dad or randomly. But in '77, he converted to Muslim and changed his name to Yusuf Islam. Yeah, Muslim. So pretty cool. Do you have any thoughts on Cat Stevens? Are you?
Yeah, man. I definitely. I'm a really. I don't seek his music out very often, but it's always an essential part of certain playlists and whatnot. And I have my favorites of his. Trouble, which is a great song that Eddie Vedder actually did a great cover of in like '96 or '97. Solo acoustic at a benefit show. That's a super great song. I think my favorite Cat Stevens song is Miles from Nowhere. I don't know. There's just something warm and soothing about his voice and just the way that he plays guitar. And some of those albums that he put out in the 70s are just all timers, and it's music with lessons behind it, and it's good listening. And I think Cat Stevens, Yusuf, is the type of artist that no matter like what your wheelhouse is musically, I think there's a lot to appreciate with his music. So happy birthday.
Would you want to change your name if it was Cat?
Well, I think the name change was predicated upon his conversion to Islam. So I don't foresee a conversion to Islam in my future. But
yeah, but if your name was Cat, would you want to change it?
Well, here's the thing: was his name Cat? Let's find out. No, he was born Stephen Dimitri Georgiou, commonly known by his stage name Cat Stevens. So it was a stage name. So he chose it. He chose the path.
Stage names.
Cat's not bad. There's a lot worse stage names out there. It is a good name, Cat Stevens. It rolls off the tongue. I don't know if that's just because there's someone famous named Cat Stevens, but yeah.
I figured his name wasn't actually
the cultural
Cat,
lexicon. Yeah, I don't know if people in the 40s were naming their children Cat.
Stage names, man.
Yeah, stage names. Let's move
Second
forward
week in a row.
Yeah, second week in a row. On this day in 1973, the great singer-songwriter Jim Croce, hailing from Philadelphia, he scored the first of his 2 U.S. number ones with the absolute powerhouse of a song, Bad Bad Leroy Brown. 3 months after this event, Jim would pass away in a plane crash with his accompanying musician Maury Muehlheisen. And after that, I remember I Got a Name came out shortly after that. Time in the Bottle was released a little bit further on in 1973, which would become his 3rd number 1 hit, and his first, obviously, after his death. But dude, Bad Bad Leroy Brown, when that piano kicks in at the beginning, it is just it's time to party.
Yeah.
Bad Bad Leroy Brown comes on.
Oh yeah, it's so good. We love Jim Croce around here. I just 30 years old. Another one gone so soon. I didn't actually realize how young he was.
Yeah. Well, the mustache would make you think that he's at least 15 years older than that, and that he had spent at least 25 of his years of life in a coal mine or something. But
everyone looks older from the 70s.
Oh yeah, 100%. But dude, bad Leroy Brown is I wish I was alive in a time where something like that could top the charts.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that would be absolutely unbelievable. What a great song, man. Dude, he was just a hit maker.
Yeah, he was. Great voice.
Yeah.
Great voice.
What a shame that I can't say this next one, but I'll kick it over to you for this next event on July 21st.
Yep. So close your eyes. Picture yourself a warm summer afternoon in 1987, and Guns N' Roses have just unleashed their very first album, Appetite for Destruction. Head of the spear being Welcome to the Jungle. You got Paradise City, and of course, not to forget Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful display of rock and roll. That
Don't forget about Mr. Brownstone either.
Oh yeah, I mean, shoot, the whole album. I mean, and I will give them this: that Appetite for Destruction title is such a great album title.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really cool. And this album sold, I believe it said 18 million copies were sold.
This album changed the music world.
That is like, I was thinking about the numbers, like 18 million copies. And that number's probably, been topped and whatnot. But
and that's just in the US.
like,
That's not counting their worldwide sales too.
That is so much. And yeah so pretty crazy. I mean, it really is, three biggest songs right there. And or three of their biggest, because they have a ton. Yeah, but yeah, good for them.
Yeah, good for them. My compliments to both the Guns and the Roses.
Great band name too. I'll give them that. I mean,
that's a classic from the '80s, man. Guns and Roses. That's it. And whether you were alive then or you came around a little later than us, like, I mean, I remember being 12 or 13 and hearing those songs and internalizing them for the first time. And, Welcome to the Jungle was the coolest thing, and you couldn't imagine that there would be any cooler music to ever exist beyond.
Then you heard Sweet Child of Mine.
And then you heard Sweet Child of Mine.
And you're just like, this is the best guitar.
Where do we go
guitar
now?
part I've ever heard. And it was in Step Brothers and guitar. It was just a
it's been everywhere.
Quintessential Guitar Hero song.
Oh,
I mean, it really was. That was something, man. That was something for the first time.
Yeah. Hey, if it's not something, it's something else. So let's blast forward in the future 9 more years to 1996. And on this day in 96, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill began its second run at #1 on the UK album charts. And all in all, Jagged Little Pill put in 8 weeks at the top of the charts over in the UK. And Jagged Little Pill has sold over 33 million copies worldwide, putting it in the upper echelon of most successfully selling albums of all time, which is, I mean, and she was quite young then too, if I remember correctly. And once again, just a really, really fantastic album. And, I was born in 96, so I can't fully appreciate, the breadth of this album and how it was everywhere. You talk to people that were listening to music back then, and Alanis Morissette was a big deal.
Yeah, I thought it was important to put this on here. I mean, just because, you got Appetite for Destruction, only 18 million sold, and then you get Jagged Little Pill.
Alanis is running circles around Guns N' Roses.
Almost doubling. And like, I'm not saying that, Alanis is forgotten at all, but like, it's a good reminder just how big that album was and how big she was. And it's like sometimes you feel like artists are like, their legends are maybe like undervalued or something. And like, I don't know, Alanis probably should be talked about more.
Oh yeah. Well, we're talking about her now, so
that's exactly right.
We're starting it. Ethan, you're up next for this one, and this one's kind of topical. If you saw, we can talk about the recent event relating to this, perhaps after you tell us what happened on this day in 2003. Yeah.
This is just a classic example that everybody makes mistakes. In 2003, Coldplay lead singer Chris Martin was charged with malicious damage in Australia after he allegedly attacked a photographer's car after he had taken pictures of him surfing at 7 Mile Beach. And, Chris admitted that he was a little bit hot-tempered and he shouldn't have acted the way he does. But it was just the constant harassment of the journalism and all these things that just kind of threw him for a loop. So he just wanted to get his revenge as he smashed the window, the front window or whatever, the window pane, or what is it?
Windshield, windscreen,
windshield.
That's the word.
So sometimes you get angry and you bust up a journalist's car, And
Yeah.
who
Who hasn't done that?
Who would have thought that Mr. Coldplay had it in him?
Yeah, who would have thought? Like, a couple things, like, who hasn't vandalized a photographer's car? Just like last week, like, who hasn't gotten in trouble for tax evasion? Like the Rolling Stones manager, Alan Klein, or whoever he was. But this one's pretty good. I didn't know this happened, and I wouldn't have thought that Chris Martin would be the type to.
You're right.
But then again, like, I mean,
Everything was yellow.
dude, '03, like, Coldplay, they're still big. They're doing stadium tours, and they sold out Gillette a couple nights in a row earlier this week, as we'll get to that. But they were I would say that was the height of their fame, like '03 to '06, '07 kind of thing. Certainly in terms of I would say album sales, they were and I'm sure Chris was followed around everywhere he went on the globe, so that would wear on me too. So I don't know.
I think Viva La Vida came out in like 2011.
That was a little bit later.
A little bit later, but
dude,
yeah, they're
Speed
still
of
massive.
Sound, Fix You, the whole Parachutes album. Dude, as we know, Fix You made its worldwide debut on the OC when Caleb Nickel died, when he took a spill.
Gosh, dude, wow! I tell you, man, Coldplay's been in the news here at Grunge Bible for the last 2 months. It's funny. It's just funny how things go in cycles. Like right now, Coldplay. We're talking about like Coldplay a lot. And
well, you saw what happened at the Gillette show they did, where the CEO got caught mid affair with like his company's director of HR or something. So
so it was like the CEO for Astronomer or something.
Yeah, I've never heard of them nor the company.
It's not like it's a famous person that anybody knows, except for the people.
But people love sticky situations like this.
Oh yeah, yeah. He looked like he was. I mean, he knew right away that it was a bad look, and they both did. And
well, people made the point. They're like, if they just acted like nothing was wrong,
no one would.
Nobody would have known, because people aren't meticulously.
They don't know,
paying attention to what's on the jumbotron at a Coldplay show, but because of the reaction, obviously it garnered a wider. It's like the Streisand effect. It was a wider audience was cast.
That's exactly like how would that clip have gotten out if it was just normal?
It wouldn't have. I wouldn't say. But I mean, hey, that's what happens. I also saw another funny tweet where somebody was like, the reason why millennials are so opposed to remote work is because it would eliminate their pool of people to cheat on their spouses with, because they love inter-office cheating.
That's funny.
So yeah, Coldplay's in the news for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, PR event, Coldplay's back.
Yeah. It was funny, like the audio of it, like Chris Martin was commenting on the people that were on the Jumbotron, and they're like, it's all right, guys, like you can come on out. And he's like, either they're having an affair or they're just really, really shy.
He said that?
He said that, yeah. If you go back and listen to the audio.
What?
Chris Martin,
gosh.
He is a wrecker of both relationships and windshields of photographers' cars.
Wow, I cannot believe he said that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, that's the karma for cheating on your husband.
It'd be crazy if it was like Kiss Cam or something.
Yeah, exactly. We all know
like
that's happened before. Oh man, so that's this day in music for July the 21st. A couple other events that we want to highlight while not occurring on the 21st. They occurred yesterday on July 20th. July 20th is Chris Cornell's birthday. He would be 61 years old this year. He was born July 20th of 1964. And also on July 20th in 2017, Chester Bennington passed away. Last year, I know we did an episode where we talked a little bit more in depth about Chris and Chester. And obviously, Chris is never far from the regular rotation of topics on this podcast. And over the years, on July 20th, we've talked about him and his birthday and his impact. And still just another opportunity, obviously, to go back, listen to the music, and I'm sure by the time this is out, we'll have commemorated him on the page and shared stuff about his birthday and Chester's death. Now 8 years since Chester's died, and Chris, he was 52 when he passed away, and he'd be 61 today. So time's going by, but these guys and their memories are certainly not fading in the slightest.
Yeah, very, very sad day for both of them. Well, I guess it'd be Cornell's birthday, which is a happier day, but just the fact that you can be, Chester was so influenced by Chris, to have it on the same day is is obviously it's a very sad occasion, but
Yeah, absolutely.
we listening to some Linkin Park and Soundgarden as we do.
Absolutely. Gonna have to dust off the Hunger Strike duet that they did in like 07 or 08. That's a great video, man.
It is.
And those guys were pals.
It really is. I enjoy getting thrown back into the Linkin Park world, so I look forward to it.
Well, and we've talked about it a bunch. Like that was one of our groups when we were the youths. You know, we didn't have the Guns N' Roses or the Alanis Morissettes or the any of those groups. We had the Green Days and the Linkin Parks of the world.
True. Blink 182s.
Yeah, we learned the ropes on a lot of those records. So they're a part of our foundation. So that's just the way that it is with us.
Yeah, so sad, but such is life.
We carry it forward.
Yeah. All right.
Ethan, before we get into our next topic, I just want to interject a little bit of sports talk here because we did have the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. I did not watch it. I was just getting notifications as it was going on, and I didn't know that they were doing a swing-off to end it. But our boy Schwarber took it home.
Yeah, I don't know how much we've talked about Kyle Schwarber on the pod yet, but
we've definitely talked about him on the page.
When it comes to just hitting dingers,
titans of sport,
and just the epitome of power and an old school home run hitter, we love Kyle Schwarber. We loved him before he got to the Phillies, but we've really enjoyed his time at the Phillies. Yeah. He's a do or die guy. You know, he's either going to strike out or hit a home run. You know,
and true outcomes. That's it.
True. Yeah. He goes for the big plays, and this was I was able to watch it, and he wasn't in the home run derby, which is like the dunk contest. You can't put the big guys in there all the time.
It wouldn't be a competition.
Yeah, it's like obviously Schwarber's like he's one of the deadliest bats when it comes to slugging. I think he's got like 34 at the break or 32.
He's up there, man. I mean he's one of the few in the big
judges
these
maybe
days.
Judges.
Well, Cal
34.
Raleigh is leading the big dumper.
Yeah.
He's got 38. He could challenge that 60 mark this year.
Yeah, I mean, apparently not good stats for people that are leading at the break and win the home run derby, because it was nice to see the big dumper obviously win the derby, but then, we brought in the shore bomb for the swing off, and you get 3 swings, and there's 4 contestants or 4 for each side, and it didn't seem possible for someone to go 3 for 3. You're gonna miss one, but Schwarber got up there, he hit 2. First one was like, it looked like he missed it, and he still bombed it.
Yeah.
And then
the next 2 were just no doubters.
Well, the third one, you probably saw the third one. He took a knee. He hit and took a knee, and that is the most badass thing you can do.
Yeah, like if you're not flipping your bat, you're gonna take a knee and just sit there and admire it. I wasn't watching it in real time. As I said, I didn't know that they were doing a swing off. But if you were watching it live, when you saw him strut to the plate, I mean, it's like, all right, this thing's about over here.
Oh yeah, it was with the outcome, it was much better than them playing another inning, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I loved it.
I think it was the 2002 All-Star game. It was in Milwaukee, and it was an extra inning game that went like 12 or 13 innings, and they ran out of pitchers. Either the American League or the National League ran out of pitchers, and they had to end the game in a tie. And it was a relatively big embarrassment for Major League Baseball that it ended in a tie. And then they had another close call. I think it was either in 2008 or 2009. The All-Star game, it went like 14 or 15 innings, and the American League ended up winning. So I think since then, they've instituted, this in order to keep it from being a tie.
Yeah.
The nice thing, I like the Major League Baseball All-Star game because it is an exhibition. It doesn't count for anything. There was a stretch of years where the winning league got home field advantage in the World Series. But baseball is one of those sports where you can play the game hard, in full speed with minimal risk of injury, which is always great. I mean, these guys are, giving their best in the All-Star game, which is pretty great, especially Schwarber. And Ethan, I think this is going to be the live debut of this, but I now I now own a Kyle Schwarber t-shirt.
No way.
Yeah, dude. I was in Philly like a month ago, and we were at the Eagles Stadium to watch a soccer game. And I knew that the Phillies Pro Shop was a short walk away at Citizens Bank Park. And I knew there was one thing that I needed, and I picked up a Kyle Schwarber t-shirt.
That's incredible. That looks so good, dude.
Yeah. So I'm going to get a lot of wear out of that.
No, yeah, dude. Softball warm up. There's no better person to represent in the MLB. That's amazing.
Absolutely, man. So
he's just a guy's guy. You know, he's got the Hoagie Fest, the Wawa sponsorship. Obviously,
ice cream, or Rita's frozen.
He just
custard.
got the Rita's sponsorship. I mean, beer distributors everywhere. Like, you know, he's just
look out below.
Bombs away.
Absolutely. Yeah. I figured I was debating when was the appropriate time to tell you that I now own a Kyle Schwarber tee. I was going to wear it for the pod, but I figured this would be better to do it live on the show. So pretty fired up about that. I think it's going to be a good second half of baseball. My Red Sox are they won 10 straight heading into the break. They have a tough stretch. They play the Cubs, then the Phillies, then the Dodgers coming out of the break. So it's going to be a good. I think it's going to be a good stretch run in the American League for sure. And the Phillies are locked in a pretty good fight as well. I think they're jousting with the Mets in the NL East right now. So
I haven't been following it incredibly intently, but more so this year than years past. So I'm getting the bug. I'm definitely learning the league again. It was like, I felt like I knew the league really well when I was in high school.
Yeah.
You know, the Phillies won when I was...
That was 08 or I think it was 2008 they won.
I was like a freshman or eighth grade or something like that. I knew the whole lineup. You know, everybody knows the lineup. And then, you know, for a couple of years, I've had a blind spot. Now I'm getting reaccustomed to the players and stuff. Yeah. So I feel better about it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, baseball is such a long season. You can tune in late August, September for the stretch run and feel pretty good about it. So, hopefully the Phillies are gearing up for a good run, and, the Red Sox maybe for the first time in a few years might be competitive.
I'm sure you're pumped that Devers is bombing over in San Fran.
Dude, he's completely bombing over there. And, apparently it was a clubhouse cancer. So I don't know.
Seemed pretty clear.
I wasn't inside those four walls, but seemed like nobody was necessarily too upset that they got rid of him. But I don't know. That's baseball for you.
That's baseball.
That is baseball. So glad we got that in. But let's move forward.
Yep. We'll hit the last little topic that we have. So, as we've spoken about on the podcast, and we've shared our musical interests and people that we enjoy listening to. Obviously, of all the old school people, which we enjoy. We enjoy looking back at all the tours and the albums and when they came out. But it is fun to have people that are in the mix right now, in the middle of their careers, maybe even starting their careers. And one of the artists that we continually talk about, I think Will, and honestly one of the more influential artists for both of us in the last 5 years for sure. Like easily he's like an honest pick for favorite artist.
Yeah,
and that's Petey USA. He's had a few albums since 2021, Lean Into Life, Petey USA, and then recently, I think just last Thursday or something, right?
Yeah, it was
like 3 days, I think it's been like a week since we've been recording.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. Yeah, July 11th. It's only been out for a week.
July 11th, he released his third album, a long form album, titled The Yips. And, he's had like 5 singles come out, and it's really solid. It's got great album artwork of him singing at a bar with like this like monster looking thing. And, we just want to take some time to highlight it and tell everybody to go listen to it, enjoy good music. He has definitely carved out a voice and a style that I'm not saying hasn't been done before, but like it's unique, and like everything he does sounds like him. It's authentic. Nothing's pushing, and like every time he releases music, I'm genuinely excited to listen to it. I want to buy it. Like it's a very, very real, authentic feeling that you just love to have, right? It's just like you just love to have it in music, and like something that you like, because there's a ton of times where we listen to stuff and I don't know, you kind of get through an album and you're like, it was good, and I don't know, it's exciting to listen to an album. You're like, I'm not like super closely connected to them, so it feels like a bridge too far, or, you don't want to be a poser, you don't know if you did your time, but then all of a sudden you get your guy, you get your artist, and we're just pumped up about it every time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like we've been fans of his since that first album in 2021, and there's kind of been like an ongoing conversation, I think, that a lot of his fans feel that they're having with his music as it's come out over the years. And there's a couple things I think that go on that connect us to it a lot. Like, he's a similar age to us. I think he's 32 or 33 or something. So, his music has been a big part of the soundtrack of my 20s, and I know for you as well. And, he just writes and sings about things that are incredibly relatable, I think, to people that are kind of, growing up and finding their place in the world. And I agree, like, this is he's one of those guys where when I try to share him with other people, I don't know what to call his music, and I don't know what to compare it to, which is one of the best compliments, I think, to his style, And this one, he partnered with Chris Walla, who was with Death Cab for Cutie for a number of years, and Petey is a huge Death Cab fan. We had him on, I think, 2 summers ago to talk about his previous album, USA, which is actually, it's over my shoulder right here on the wall. So I can only imagine how cool it must have been for him to collaborate with one of his musical heroes for it. And, we've had an ongoing conversation about musicians or bands' first albums, and then the bar is set, and it's like, where do they go from here? Like, do they change? Do they build on it? And do they continue to make music that hits as well as that first one did? And Petey, unequivocally for me, has been able to do that. I love this album, and it's only been out for a week, and I've listened to it so much. I'm doing that thing where I just listen to certain tracks over and over again, and I'm learning the lyrics, I'm learning the songs, and I'm developing a connection to them, and I'm learning from them and applying them to just different parts of my life. And it's fun to be able to do those things, to build something with new music, and to be able to do that in real time with something that just came out is not something that we get to do with the grunge genre that we spend so much time talking about. So it's a breath of fresh air, I think, to be able to do this.
Yeah, it's really nice to see. I mean, same thing happened when Dark Matter came out. You listen to it a bunch, and you're just like, oh yeah, this is good. Let's have an opinion on this stuff right now. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about it, but then as it settles, as like a couple weeks go by, and you take some time off, you come back, and you have this, real authentic feeling towards it. And so it's the same thing. We're in that like mania phase of like, yes, you get a new album, you're just like, listen, you're like, this is so good. Like, why is it so good? It's like, I love the way it sounds. I don't we're still developing the connections with the songs. So if we, we're going to maybe go through a few, but like they're pretty, quick analysis, and but I'm just like, the prospect of having this for the rest of the summer, I got a couple of drives, a couple of flights, certain aspects of like, when am I going to put this into my situation, whatever I'm in. And I'm excited because I know what he's done in the past for situations. Like, I know like what Petey's music is capable of. And I'm like, oh yeah, like this is, I can't wait to play, Stereoscope, or, there's certain songs on there that I like, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And, it's so cool. So he's talked about it, a little bit of background about Petey. I mean, we have an episode, you can go listen to it, but during that episode, he talked about how his, favorite artists growing up, or one of his biggest influences was Death Cab for Cutie. And I can totally understand why. They're awesome. They're super unique. They have a sound. And the fact that he was able to work with Chris Walla on this record is I'm just so happy for him. It's so cool. It's like such a unique, working with your heroes and full circle moment. And I think that, yeah, it adds a different feel and professionalism to this album that we're going to hear. And it really is going to bring out, there's a whole, I don't know how much we're going to get into it. There's a nice interview where they kind of ask them both questions about what it was like working with each other and how that meant. And just the whole time, you could just tell that it was a perfect match. And that is such an important thing to have a producer you can trust, have a producer that believes in the artist, not just doing it for, money or just the rights and just the notoriety, but like an actual, oh, I want to work with you. And I think we got that with this album. And so it really adds a lot. I mean, Chris played on at least 4 of the songs. I know the last half of the album. So that's an awesome influence too, that you get to be on the album, and Petey really wanted him to do that. So that's super cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the next several months and next year plus with this album as I get to listen to it more in different scenarios. And also I'm assuming that there will be some touring in conjunction with this, and I can't wait to go hear these songs live. Ethan, I didn't tell you about this because I wanted to save it because I knew that we were going to talk about this on the podcast, but last week my buddy Tom, his girlfriend hit me up and was like, hey, Tom and I are going to New York City for the weekend, just like a weekend trip, and I want to surprise him with concert tickets. And she's like, can you do me a really, really big favor and like see if there's anything going on in the city on Friday the 11th, that I can get tickets for and surprise him. So, that was a big vote of confidence. Like, hey, like I hold the keys to,
that's amazing
for this gift. So I was looking through, and just by happenstance, Petey played a record release show in Brooklyn on the 11th, on the night this album came out. So I told her, I was like, hey, like, I went to Petey with Tom couple of years ago in Boston. It seemed like he had a really, really good time. Like that could be a good one, and it's an album release show, so it should be pretty cool. So she ended up surprising him with tickets for the album release show. He played the album in full. He had done one in Chicago on the 10th, and then he did Brooklyn on the 11th, and they were able to go. And Tom afterwards told me it was super, super sick. So I'm definitely a little jealous that they got to go, but I'm really happy that I got to share a few years ago. I got to share my love of Petey's music with my buddy, and that he was able to have that experience with his girlfriend. So super cool.
That is great. It's just great when things work out like that. Like, oh, I'll be in for one night. Oh, this band is playing a release show. What are the odds? And you get to go. Like, that's such an awesome an event. So that's really cool. I'm jealous for sure.
Yeah, and looking back, when I saw Petey and Medium Build in Providence a couple months ago, Petey played the Milkman acoustic as well as Model Train Town and I Am Not a Cowboy from this album. So I've seen them live solo acoustic, which is super cool. But dude, this whole album, the 12 songs, like, I'm already kind of zeroing in on some of my favorites, and I'm, turning back to a bunch of these songs already. But do you have any favorites so far in the early running?
I don't know. I mean, I think we've talked about it, and you're probably going to say Breathing the Same Air, or just Two People Drift Apart. I think you said Two People Drift Apart, which I totally... No, wait.
I said Breathing the Same Air, yeah.
Yeah, that was my friend Andrew, he really liked As Two People Drift Apart, because it's such a real topic that people of our age are experiencing, where life takes you different ways, and you kind of... you don't talk to somebody for no good reason, just because life gets in the way, and just because people aren't talking and communicating does not mean anything's changed. It's just my friends, it's time to check in, not check out of a friendship,
Mm-hmm.
And those two are really, really solid. I do like. I like the singles were all good, and we talked about how I wish they didn't release like 5 or 6, whatever they did.
Damn album,
it would have been cool because. Some of those, maybe my favorite, and I just wish that I came to it on my own. I don't know. It's like they have a head start. They have a head start on all these. So I don't know. I do like Stereoscope, the one I brought up. That one that's really solid. But I don't have I have no favorites. They're like my kids. I can't pick them.
Yeah, that's
not yet.
Not yet. At least not publicly. We all have them.
I'll tell you off camera.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't tell the
private
public.
Conversation.
How about you, though?
Yeah, I've definitely zeroed in on the title track, the Yips. I absolutely love that song. I love just every single part of it. The drum tracks that he uses as the backbone for these songs, like they're so infectious. And just like the way they fill in the space around it that Petey and Chris were able to do together is super, super great. My other favorite would be Spirit Animal, the 8th song on the album. I've zeroed in on that one a lot. And the last two I think are great. God is in the Gray and I Am Not a Cowboy. They're just like the two perfect kind of, end pieces to this album. But dude, the whole thing is just really, really great. And I'm excited, oftentimes too, it's like, I always kind of think of like hearing a new album like the first weekend at college, where it's like the people that you spend a lot of time with in the beginning might not end up being your go-to long-term friends. So it's like the first songs that stick in your ear might not end up being the long-term favorites that you have. You know, you're just kind of scrambling. It's like, all right, like this one's good. I'm going to stick with this one for a while before you develop relationships with other ones. So who's to say? I'll definitely be listening to this record a lot, so I'm sure my relationship with it will grow and develop. And it's kind of weird, like doing the podcast and especially doing the page as it relates to, you know, new music when it comes out. Like sometimes I feel this pressure that like I have to consume something and develop an opinion on it so we can talk about it, and so I can post about it. And sometimes it feels like a chore to do that. And this one does not feel like a chore to do that. And that's how I know like where it's something that like I actually really engage with and really love. I'm excited to develop those opinions and develop those feelings towards it. Which is, I mean, that's why people listen to music. Like I listen to it for my own benefit, not to be able to post about it on the internet. So,
yeah, I don't know how big. It's interesting because we're like obviously super close, and it's like right here, you know, right in front of our faces. So you know that he's really big and doing well, but it's hard to maybe necessarily know how big he is in this scope of regular. Like,
yeah, who
so
knows?
When Chris was interviewed, Chris Walla, or he was. I think when he commented that when he was asked to do this, he said that he had just found out about Petey like a few months before he was asked, because he watched his Audio Tree session. And I'm not surprised that like maybe a big producer or somebody. I was a little surprised. I was like, oh, is he not on the radar for more people? Is this going to put him on the map? Like. And I just, I found that interesting, but also like if you're out there, I mean, we've talked about a bunch, so a lot of people will know, but he's still playing shows that you can get tickets for, $30, $40. So like this is a sweet spot as far as following and getting in. Everybody talks about all the early Pearl Jam and Nirvana shows and stuff that they were at. And like, it's like, how did they do that? It's like, well, tickets were cheap because they just weren't as big, but the music is the same. So, you never know the trajectory of these people. So this is a good one. Like I said, if it's a $30 concert, sign us up. Sign us up. Yeah, dude, we're in for that.
Absolutely.
The other thing I wanted to read, I like that. So it's not, I wouldn't call it a concept album, but there is a little bit of a imaginary world that they built. And I'm not sure if Capitol wrote this up or PD. It was on both their websites, but they said Petey USA's upcoming album, The Yips, produced by Chris Walla, the creative force for Death Cab for Cutie, delves into the concept of the Yips, a loss of confidence that hinders peak performance. Set in a fictional dive bar, the Yips Tavern, the album points out scenes of patrons reclaiming their lives through the shared struggles. Each song captures a conversation happening at tables in the bar, reflecting how the Yips phenomenon affects everyday life. And that's funny. Awesome. And, I think in that interview, Petey said that he's a big sports fan, and the Yips is such a unique, and it really is. And being in sports ourselves, we can definitely attest to it. And I mean, you could, not just a sports term, any type of like performing under pressure, like why is it so much easier to do in practice than to get on stage, and things just change. And it is such a cool concept to build an album around it, and to have certain songs and lyrics and situations kind of come out and kind of delve into the idea around how it's just part of life and how to get through it.
Yeah, absolutely. In that interview that we're referencing, it was for Flood magazine. He said that Petey said, I was just thinking about the Yips as how they apply to life. A lot of these songs are about someone going through something and talking about it, or not talking about it at a bar. The sort of cure for the Yips in this world is having beers at this bar, just trying to set your head straight a little bit. So that's great. Like, as like explicit or implicit as it is, like, I think it's great that like we have artists that make really, really good music that kind of encourage people to give voice to these things, because everybody deals with this kind of stuff, like whether it's sports, whether it's professional, their work, their relationships, just like setting your you're charting your path for life. Like there's always doubt and there's always unknowns. So, it's good to give credence to the fact that like everybody's kind of got that kind of stuff going on, and it's okay. And sometimes you talk about it, you just spend some time with people, and makes some things better.
Oh man, yes. Stopping in at the tavern to get a few beers at the Yips Tavern sounds great. You know,
Yeah, dude.
You got a stressful day, you gotta have a few beers and talk it out.
Oh,
that sounds,
yeah, dude. That's pretty
sounds
great.
wonderful.
Yeah, so this is gonna be I'm sure this is probably gonna end up being my album for the summer. So I think I'm ready to anoint it as such already here. I mean, it's already almost the end of July, so it's time to start locking it. It's like at the end of the All-Star game by like the 7th inning, like the game's not over yet, but they're like, we've opened the fan voting for MVP, like start casting your votes. Like we're in probably like the 5th inning of summer right now, I would say 5th, 6th inning maybe. So it's time to start casting your votes for what your album of the summer is going to be. And I think I'm gonna text in my vote for the Yips.
Schwarber won that All-Star MVP.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, he had the bat trophy up over his head, and I think they win like a Chevy truck or something too. So that's
amazing.
He can haul around all of his hoagies and his frozen custard and his beer that he gets for his sponsorships.
And cold ice.
Exactly, 8 pound bags of ice.
Truck full of 8-pound bags of ice.
Yeah, dude. Kyle Schwarber is one of the only professional athletes that we follow on Grunge Bible, so that tells you everything you need to know.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah.
We should get him on. You think he likes grunge?
He likes grunge.
I mean, Chicago, Philly. He was in Boston for a little bit, right?
Yeah, dude. They traded for him at the deadline in 2021, and he anchored that lineup for an unexpected run to the American League Championship Series. And that's when he was kind of down and out before that year. The Cubs decided not to extend him. He signed a bridge deal with the Nationals, and he did something crazy in June. Like he hit like 16 home runs in a month or something. Like he was just dropping tanks. And then the Sox traded for him, and I was so pumped when it happened. He played really well for the Red Sox down the stretch that year. And he didn't end up re-signing with the Sox. Obviously, he opted out of the deal that was in place at the time, and he got paid with the Phillies. And man, he's been producing ever since. So definitely fired up about that.
He doesn't get the yips like everybody else anymore.
He just hits tanks. That's it.
Model train tanks.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty sick. So, yeah, man. Pretty good stuff.
I think that sufficiently wraps up our analysis on this new album. It comes down to you got to go listen to it. We're giving you some great music to listen to. I know we'll be doing that. Like I said, we're going to be just inundated and listening to it. I'm excited. I got an hour drive later today that I'm going to be listening to it, so I'm pumped.
Yeah, man.
And so everybody out there, thank you so much for listening. Try to stay cool out there during the dog days of summer. Hang in there, keep rocking.
All you can do is all that you do.
That's right.
That's it.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Ethan.
Thank you, our producer, Drew. Absolute legend back there, pumping them out. And we'll be back same time, same place next week.
Absolutely. Thank you for spending some of your day with us. We appreciate it. And we'll see you right back here next week for episode number 227.
Rock and roll, everybody. Stay heavy.
Rock and roll.